You're listening to Cinema Red Pill. I'm Sharon. And Malcolm is in the house. And we're going to talk about his premiere of his short films.
Yeah.
7th of June.
7th of June. So come for that Malcolm Guys shorts at the Square. And get tickets before they sell out.
What time?
7 o'clock. It's going to be out on the terrace. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I've watched 2 movies there, I think.
It's a good time, right?
Yeah.
I will be wearing shorts.
You're going to be wearing shorts, eh?
I feel like it's only appropriate.
It would be a betrayal to the people if you wasn't wearing shorts.
It's true.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun.
I have nice legs, guys. Come if anything.
Come to see Malcolm's shorts.
My shea butter moisturized legs.
So, Pregnant Woman Stabs Husband Dead is the first film. Then Jethro by Jethro. Then MAWE. Order in which they were made.
That's the order that they were made. And no one has really seen MAWE yet. I personally have not seen the complete version of MAWE. Sound design is being finished this week. So,
wow.
Yeah. I get to see it tomorrow. Put on finishing touches. And by the time this comes out, I think it will be done.
By Monday.
Oh, by Monday it will definitely be done.
Okay. How many minutes is MAWE?
MAWE is like the longest one. It's like 22 minutes now.
What?
It's 22 minutes. Yeah, it's 22 minutes. So my hope was that the stories would just keep getting like more and more until one day it's like, oh
until
man, it's a feature.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's happening. That's not how that
It's going to happen.
No, not really. I'm writing a feature right now, and half the time I'm like, holy shit, this is a lot. But that's a conversation for another day.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, talk about MAWE and what it's about.
So I have a history of naming things weirdly, and my initial title for MAWE was Ignorance is Bliss or something like that, and it was inspired by like another book, a collection of short stories by a Nigerian author called Igoni Barrett called Love is Power or something like that. And I'd been thinking about kind of the things that we say in life that are just like empty, like very simple like maxims, like love is power, ignorance is bliss, truth is everything. And I feel like in life things are so much more complicated than that, and films kind of help us see those complications. So this ended up being a film about these two people, they're friends who are just having conversations about things that they've gone through in their recent history of life, and they're catching up the way I've seen my mom and her friends and aunties and stuff catch up when they come home, when they visit each other, kind of over drinks and over hours, just talking about this person and that person and themselves and things of life, and sharing stories that I feel kind of are the basis of kind of how we experience life without experiencing life. The way we might go watch a movie in the cinema and kind of watch someone going through something, I feel is the way that we hear stories about a relative whose house burnt down and kind of talk about what they did after that and what they went through and what might have caused it, and we end up experiencing these things without really going through them. And I wanted to really show that in a movie, to show people telling stories but also experiencing and living those stories even if they aren't there. The truth is, even if there are things that you'd rather not know and ignorance is bliss, those things still affect the life that you live even if you're unaware of them. And it is kind of unavoidable that you remain ignorant and blissful forever. So that's what the film's about. That's what
Sweet.
yeah, I wish I had more tantalizing words, but yeah.
You must have. So the two leads actually, like the people playing the two leads.
Yeah, Diana Kahunde and Esther Komwero are the leads. A lot of people know Diana from Minibars, from The Hostel. A lot of people know Esther from Deception and from The Honorables, I believe.
Okay.
And yeah, I worked again with Yusuf Kaija Boxer, which was the second time now. That was a good time. With Felix Banda, with Sarah Katumba for the first time, with Richard Dumba. Yeah, this has been a good time. It's been
Question. So people work in reference points.
Yeah.
So is there any movie you could say you'd reference as
it's like
similar to?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because that's usually very helpful in terms of the tone to expect.
God damn. A lot of people that would say to her, like, man, this is such a Nigeria. But only because like a bunch of it seems to happen indoors, And you have people kind of talking and things are happening indoors, but they are also outside of those spaces at the same time. The narration kind of takes them to different spaces and experience different parts of the stories that they're telling. It's a
good melodrama, like.
You know what? Yeah, I guess it is kind of a melodrama. I'm not sure what that means, but yeah, it is kind of a melodrama as much as a story between two people can be. But I thought in some way that it kind of combined some of the dramatic elements of pregnant woman stabs husband dead with some of the slightly more experimental elements of Jethro by Jethro. Not that much, and yeah, it's really neither, but it's something else in and of itself, and it's a film I'm very proud of.
Is it in Rutoro?
It is all in Rutoro. It's in Rutoro and Luganda. It's the main characters speak Rutoro, but they live in Uganda and Kampala, so they speak Luganda, and it was a point of interest to me just kind of how poorly people from outside of this space kind of speak Luganda when they come into this space, and the way that integration is taken for granted, but is something that has to be worked through. And my mom, who's lived in this Kampala for more than 30 years, her Luganda is still pretty bad. Still, but yeah, it's something that I had never really seen much of, and I just wanted to see just the complications of mixing languages and people living in different places. And
the only reference point you've left is Nigeria. Do you want to add another one?
Oh man,
I
don't know, because you okay. I'll personally say my experience of his films, Malcolm is sort of a genre unto himself.
What?
No, yes. I mean, you may see hints here and there of like established genres, but Malcolm always just sort of goes off on a tangent, especially like Jethro by Jethro. He just sort of goes off on a tangent and just does his thing.
Oh man.
Yeah, this is exciting.
But MAWE sounds good. I guess to me it sounds more of soul searchy, which I would kind of, because the way he sort of phrased it sort of sounds like this sort of conversations between these two women, which for me I would liken more to a Linklater movie, which Sharon is a fan of Linklater movies.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm sort of looking forward to it in that kind of sense.
Okay. I like to say my movies are often a bunch of talking and then some shit happens. And then it's
true.
That woman stopped dead.
Yeah, a bunch of talking and then some shit happens.
Yes.
And I feel like that's how life is often. Is the crazy shit happens in just having a conversation. Oh man, I just met that guy the other day, and then
shit happened.
He just squashed a pumpkin. I know, but squashed like a pumpkin.
This is a sequel about MAWE. Like someone's going to establish your thought process, because we talked about MAWE in another episode. So actually, we can't wait to listen and see the difference between the past episode, because you hadn't yet filmed.
That's true.
Whoa,
that's true.
We are documenting this shit.
Yeah. Oh man, that was a really cool shooting process. I shot with a couple of friends of mine who I'd known for some time, but I'd never really formally worked with. Jethro Productions, Stone Age Pictures, which are owned by Moses Boyo and Ali Musoke, and a couple of my other friends, Sozi, and it was a much more, to be honest, professional shooting experience than I'd ever had.
Really?
But it felt like a growth. It felt like a step up. I feel like the quality of what we have produced is much less kind of hurried, and I feel like you might get a sense of that when you watch the film. We shot this in December. It's coming out in June. It's had some time in post-production to be something. The sound design is great. The music I really enjoy, done by Donzilla. Yeah, it feels a lot more kind of sure and steady, and it doesn't feel like it's just kind of cross the finish line and in like a battered smoking heap.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious about filming with actors. What are you like as a director? I don't think I've ever asked you this. Do you let them riff, or are you really strict with the script?
I found out I talk too much, and I'm really pedantic about the script. And it's something that I'm trying to change a little bit. I found that there's some actors that I work with who I've kind of just learned to accept that they will never say the same line twice. And it ends up being great, to be honest. In some ways, when you walk around it, they often get really great reactions when you play them for people. Those moments that are unscripted or kind of deviate from the script slightly, but that the actor really just enters and fills up. And I going forward want to be a bit more kind of loose with the way that I kind of work with actors, the way that with this last film it was all in Utoro, and it was interesting kind of seeing the actors who speak Utoro but not on a very, very, very regular basis kind of become comfortable with those lines, and then start to feel free enough to say them in their own ways. But going forward, I do definitely need to learn to let go more, and just kind of let actors also do the work of figuring out how they're going to deliver a thing over time.
Okay, last question, I think.
Yeah.
Did you make any stylistic choices with your photography while you were in the house or anything? Because you've said a lot of it is inside. So I'm curious about how you were you aware of it, or you just let it be?
A weird thing is I feel like I have a really bad eye for color. I have a really bad eye for color and light and texture, and I see things. And even when I used to make art, I used to really prefer to just do black and white, like pencil drawings or charcoal or whatever. Because in some way, even when I make a film and compose the shots and stuff, it's still not really thinking about colors at all, or thinking about textures or lights in that specific way. And it's really cool working with people who do, people who have an eye for that kind of detail. I feel like they fill in those gaps for me a bit. But when it came to shooting in the house, for example, I had an idea to shoot, because I shoot everything very perpendicular, very kind of straight on. I kind of shy away from diagonals. I find them very ambiguous, and I feel like it keeps me disciplined shooting very straight on. So I shoot most scenes straight from the side or from the back or from the top or from the front. And what I decided to do with this one was to kind of start from one side of the room and to kind of adjust throughout the acts of the film till you are kind of on the reverse side of the room of the same people speaking. And I don't know if it creates the sense of rhythm that I thought it would, but a part of me kind of just likes having a system for having a system's sake. I feel like it makes things easy to plan, it makes things easy to kind of limit, and otherwise I feel like you can shoot a million beautiful shots, but I feel like if you kind of limit yourself to saying I'm going to shoot either handheld one shot or whatever, I feel like those limitations create a lot of creativity, but also make it easy to plan and to limit yourself and to remain within a reasonable timeline.
Dope! I think we have really talked about the film.
So you're The Thing, guys.
Excited.
Yeah.
The Thing is shots.
Yeah, the Malcolm Guys shots.
That's Malcolm Guys shots.
Yeah.
It's on the 7th of June. It's a Thursday at 7 p.m. at the Square in Industrial Area.
Get your tickets at Definition at Acacia Mall, 32 Degrees in Kansanga, or Design Hub in Industrial Area.
Tickets are 25K. Get that money and give it to a filmmaker. Pay him for his work.
Support black businesses.
Yeah. Support Ugandan films, you guys. It would be nice for someone to make money from this stuff.
Let's go.
It's actually a hard business. Malcolm.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Excited about Thursday?
Yeah.
See you there. We will all be there.
See you there, guys.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Joel.
Sarah was very non-committal, but
area.
she'll be there.
Thank you.